Okay, so how about our speaker? I know you're anxious to start. Violina is a seasoned software developer with focus on mobile app development. She's passionate about delivering seamless cross-platform experiences. She has a bachelor's in economics and a master's in marketing. She started as consulting in tech, and then she transitioned to programming. She is part of a mobile app team at the largest streaming platform for equestrian sports and breeding events, where she consistently strives for excellence. Thank you, Violina, for preparing the session for us. I know everyone is anxious to start. And yeah, I'll give you the word. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the great introduction, Anna, and thank you everyone who joined the session today. I will share my screen now. Okay, please let me know if you see my screen. Okay, so today we will build AI chatbot using Google Gemini and React Native and Expo. And before I dive into the code, I just want to give some introduction about React Native and Expo, and also how to use the Gemini API. So what is React Native? I'm officially with a web background, and I started with React, and if today on the call there are people who are also with web background and are using React, actually the transition to React Native is very smooth. Well, it takes some time to get comfortable with the different primitives, but in general you can use your React knowledge to also build mobile apps, but not only mobile apps, because with the latest updates in React Native, you can build for desktop apps, for Vision OS, also for smart TVs, and actually with as the React Native team says, learn once, write everywhere, and this is quite useful. I will create the React Native app with Expo. Expo is a framework that makes development for iOS and Android very easier, and is quite useful for people with no previous experience in mobile development. Also, you can use a lot of libraries from the Expo ecosystem, and this makes the development easier. As I said earlier, we will be using the Google Gemini, and I will just share in the chat the link to the site where you can explore more about the Gemini. But what is important for today, we will need the API key. I already created one and put it into a constant in my project, but you can generate Gemini API key by clicking on this button, and you will be redirected to the Google AI Studio, and you just have to select Get API Key, and a new key will be generated. What I want to show you is that here you have to select web if you want to use Gemini API in your project, and there are different models which you can use. I'll use today Gemini Pro, but there's also Flash. Let's just go to the models. Okay, there is 1.5 Flash, 1.5 Flash 8B, and Pro, which we'll be using today. And the model serves for different purposes, so if you're interested, you can explore more on this site. And moving forward, I will show. I already generated the project, but you have to use npx. Okay. You have to use the command npx expo start. Sorry, not npm expo start, but you have to use the command npx create expo template, and a new project will be generated. You will be prompted about the template which you have to use, and for this project I'm using a blank template, and I started the expo server with the npx expo start. As you can see, here we have a QR code which allows to test the app on our physical device, and for this purpose you have to install the Expo Go app from the App Store or Google Play Store. And this is very useful because often bugs cannot be reproduced on the virtual devices, but can be reproduced only on physical device. So I always test new functionalities which I'm developing also on my physical device. But for development purposes, you can use Android or iOS simulator. And as we already have the project set up, I can just quickly go through the project structure. When the project was generated, we have an Expo folder which contains some Expo specific files. We also have the assets folder, the node modules. As you can see, it looks pretty much like a React app, and in package.json we have the installed packages. I forgot to mention that for today's app we need to install 3 packages. And the first one is Expo Speech, and the second one is React Native Vector Icons, and also Axios. They're already installed, and you can see that all of the packages are with the latest versions. I also put the API key which we'll use for the Google Gemini integration in the constants, and won't show you. Okay, so now let's create our first component, which will be the chatbot component. And here I will import React and also useState, which we'll use for state management from React. I will also import some specific components from React Native, like view, text, text input, touchable opacity, activity indicator, and style sheet. And I think this is enough. Well, I will also, sorry, from React Native. I will also import speak, is speaking, and stop, but not from speech, but from Expo's page. And also I will need my API key. From Constance. Okay. And now I will create the chatbot as a functional component. And here I will need to set state for the chat, for the text input, and actually I forgot to show you in the beginning how our chatbot will look at the end. So this is what we will have at the end. And now we are creating the components for this chatbot. So the first state variable will be for the chat. The next will be for the text input. We will also need a loading indicator, and for it we'll create the loading state with the initial value of false, and also state for the errors. But here I will set the initial value to be null instead of empty string. And also state for is speaking. Okay, the next thing which I will do is to create a function which will handle the text input, and it will be handle text input, which will be async function. And I'll just add a comment. Add text input to chat. And I'll create new chat. This will take role as user and parts as array, which will contains an object text input. Okay, and I'm missing something. No. And we'll also set the loading state to true. And I'll also add a try catch case. Okay, here in the try, we will first create a constant for the response, and the response will await Axios post. It will be post request, and here I will just need the URL which will point to the Gemini model. We will be using generative language model, and actually this is the endpoint of which we will be using for our chatbot. And another thing which have to accept is contents, which will be new chat. Okay, here we can console log the response. And we'll create a constant for the model response, which will take the response data, and actually not only the model response data, but also candidates, or it will be an empty string if there is no response. And now let's create a condition for the model response. I'm using Copilot extension. Sometimes it's very distracting with all code suggestions. So I will add comment, and we will add a model to the response chat, and here we need a variable chat with model, which will be an array with new chat. It will also take the object which contains raw model and parts text model response, and for this condition I think that's all, and we are ready to go to the catch case, where we will catch the error if there are any errors. And we can first console log the error like this. Also we can console log the error response and set error to, it will be a string. Occurred. Please try again. All right. And finally, we will set the loading to false. Okay, this was our handle text input function. The next thing which we have to do is to create another function which will handle the speak. And handle speak, which again will be async function, and we'll accept text as parameter. Okay, here we can check if the app is speaking. And we can stop speaking by using the stop function from Expo speech, and also set is speaking to false. Else we can else we can start speaking. And here I will add a check if speaking. Okay. And we'll set is speaking to true. Am I missing something? Okay. And the next thing which we have to do is to render the chat item, which will contain another component for the chat item. And I'll create first the function render chat item, which will take the item as parameter, and will return the component, which we'll create in a few minutes, but it will be item chat item, which will accept few props, and the first one will be row, but here will be text instead of parts. And on speak we'll just pass the handle speak function, and we will passing the text. Okay, and we will return the view component, which will handle our chatbot UI. And okay, here I will add some style to this view element, which we will also add later on. And I will also show you how the styles works in React Native. So the styles for this view element will be okay. I will just create the styles object so that I don't get these errors, and we'll add the styles later on. So here we have container. Next element which we'll add is the text element, and it will have also style of for title, and I will name our chatbot Queens chatbot because we are front-end queens. The wrong emoji. Next thing which I will add is a flat list, and actually the flat list element will hold the chat item elements. And here I will add some props to the flat list. It will accept data, chat data, also as a render item. No. I will pass the item, render chat item function as a prop for the render item, and also we need key extractor, which will take the index and it will stringify it, and we also need style for this flat list, content container style, which here will be chat container. Next thing which we have to do is to add another view element which will hold the text input. And I'll just add a style to this view element, which will be input container. And for the text input, we will need few things. So first, the style for this element will be text input. We also need to pass a value, which will be the text input. Also, we need the onChange text function, which will track the state of this input field, and as a placeholder we can have type a message or anything else, but I think type a message is a good placeholder. And we can also set color for the placeholder, and okay, it will be gray. Okay, in this view element, I will also add a touchable opacity, and the touchable opacity will acts as a button which will send the text input. And for the touchable opacity, we'll add style, which will be a send button, and it will accept the handle text input function on press. And it will hold the text element, which will say send. And I will also add style for this text element, which will be send. Send text. Okay. And I'll also add check for the activity indicator. If the loading is true, we will have the activity indicator displayed, which will have the style for loading, and I will set the color for purple. And also another condition for the error. If we have an error, we will display text which will display the error message. And I think that's it. So now let's add the styles for the different elements, and we'll start with the container style. In React Native, there are different ways for using styles. So you can use the style sheet API, which we'll be using today. Also, you can use styled components. You can use native Wint. Also, there are many different ways, so you can choose what is most comfortable for you and apply it in your work with React Native. I personally prefer to use styled components because it makes the code more clean and easy to maintain. But today we will be using the style sheet API from React Native, and let's add the styles for container. I won't use the automatic generated from Copilot. So here we will need to add flex 1 to this container. Also, the background color should be white, but I will use the hex value, and I also add some padding, 20. Let's see what we have to style next. We have to style the title. And for font size, okay, font size 26. Okay, font weight bold. I will add margin bottom of 20, margin top 40, I will align the text center and the color will be purple. Okay. The next style which we have to create is for the flat list, which is our chat container. And here I will add flex grow of 1 and justify content flex end. Okay, we have chat container. Next is input container. Okay, now for the input container, I will add flex direction of row. The default flex direction in React Native is column, so that's why I will let's see. This is our view element which will hold the text input and the button. And I want it to be on one line, so that's why I will add flex direction of row. I will also align items center and will add margin top of 20. Okay, and the next thing which we have to style is the text input itself. So for the text input, I also add flex of 1. It will be height, maybe 50. Border width, we will need some border color, which will be gray. Also some border radius, 5, for example. What else? Some padding. Margin right. Color, let be black. And background color, let it be white. Okay, we have the styles for text input, and the next thing which we have to style is the send button. And for the send button, let's see, padding will be 10. Yeah, background purple will work because we have purple for title, so okay, background color purple is okay. And border radius of 5. We are using the border radius 5 for the text input, so they can be with the same border radius. And on what we have send button. Okay, for the loading we have to apply some styles. Which will be just margin top of 20. And for the error, I'll just add color red of the text and margin top of 20. And I think we are ready with the styles for the chatbot component. Yes, and at the end we just have to export the component. Okay, so next thing which I will do is to create the chat item component, which again will be in the src folder. Chat item. And here I will import React. From React, I'll also import some elements from React Native. And there will be view, text, again style sheet, and touchable opacity. I see in the chat what this touchable opacity is used for. Touchable opacity is an element which can be used in the places where you have to use button in your app, but since iOS and Android renders the button different, if you are aiming to have the same styles for iOS and Android, it's better to use touchable opacity or pressable component. So basically touchable opacity is our button if you compare it to the web. And we create the chat item as a functional component, which will take some properties, row, text, and I think we have also an onSpeak function here. Yeah, this is our chat item which I created earlier, and now we are writing the logic for it. And as you can see, it have to accept three properties: row, text, and onSpeak. Speak. And it will return the view element, which will hold the chat item, which will have different styles based on a condition if the user is typing or if the model is responding. And I will just let me just again create the style object. And you will have styles dot container and also based on a row. If the row is user, we will apply the style for styles user chat item. Otherwise, model chat item. Okay, and this view element will hold the text. And here again we will have styles for this element, which will be text, and it will display the text from the input field. And I'll add the condition for if the row is model. It will display the message and an icon. We're passing the onSpeak function and onSpeak prop, not function, and we need also styles for this element, which will be speaker icon. And here I will just import I have React Native vector icons, and I will use icons from React Native vector icons, ion icons, and it will I have to pass the name as volume high. The size should be 24. The color will be white. Okay. And now we are ready to create the styles for these elements. Let's start with the container. What we need for the container, we will need a background color, which will be, this color will be good. We will add some padding, also margin bottom, which will be 10. The width can be let's say 80%. Border radius 10 is okay, or maybe 20. We'll use border radius 20. Also, I will add position relative. I will align the items center. And again, the flex direction will be row. Okay. The next thing which we have to style is the user chat item. And for the user chat item, we will align it at the end, but the background color will be black. Use the hex value. Okay, the next thing which we have to style is the model chat item. Again, align cell, flex start. The background color will be purple. And there are a few more things left for styling. This is the text for the chat item and the speaker icon. So let's copy the, no, it's text. For the text, I'll add flex one, font size, let be 20, and the color will be white. And the last thing which we have to style is the speaker icon. So the speaker icon will have position of absolute, and it will be placed the bottom right corner in the chat item for the model chat item, and just add bottom 5 and right 5. Okay, and with this we've finished styling for the chat item. And now the last thing which we have to do is to add the chatbot component in our app.js file. I will just delete this code and add our chatbot. I will delete the code which we no longer need, and also these styles, and we are ready to test our app. Okay, we have an error here because it should be flat list like this. Let's see. Oh yeah, because we haven't imported it. Okay, so yeah. I think this will fix the error, and I will just refresh the app and type again. another error. It's not constants, but contents. I think the error is in the end of speak function, and it should work now. Because I'm not setting the chat here. And also the text input to empty string. Let's reload the app and try. Hopefully it will work. No. Okay. Oh.
Violina, this is a great example of a troubleshooting during live.
Yeah, let's see, because I haven't imported the chat item component. Okay. Class function. Yeah, I most likely forgot to export it. Okay, now we have some progress, but let's see what we have in the console now. Okay, I fixed. I was passing the wrong value for the text, and actually we have the text from our model and from the user. And one limitation which I found with using the Expo speech in the simulator is that the speech don't work on the simulator. And if you remember earlier, I showed you that when we started the Metro server, a QR code was generated, which allows the app to be tested on a real device. And now I will scan the QR code and open the app from the Expo Go so that I can show you the speech, how the speech actually is working. But yeah, I should first turn off my airplane mode and scan again. Okay, I hope you can see this is our chatbot app, the same as you see it on the screen, and I will type hello, send.
Hello there, how can I assist you today?
Do you hear the voice from the chatbot? Can you just write in the chat or write this question also in this app from the simulator? Let's see if we will get some response. Okay, so what we have as response: personalized gift, engraved jewelry with her name, birdstone or a special message, custom photo album, or scrapbook filled with cherished memories, personalized blanket, or draw with her name, or meaningful design, experiences, gift certificate for a spa day or massage, tickets to a concert, show, or sporting event. She enjoys cooking, class, or wine tasting tailored to her interest, cozy and comforting, luxurious robe or slippers, weighted blanket or for relaxation and comfort. Okay, and oh, the list is actually pretty long. So if anyone wants to ask anything else, our chatbot, please paste the question in the chat. Yeah, and as I said, one thing which doesn't work properly on the iOS simulator is the all audio from Expo speech, but as you saw on real device, it works as expected. So if you have any questions regarding the chatbot or React Native, please feel free to drop it in the chat. And here we have the response in the console.
Amazing session, Violina. We do have a couple of questions, and I'm going to take with the first question, which is, do we need to set up a payment to use or generate the API key, or it's free for use?
Actually, the API key is free for use, and actually with the free version you receive 16 requests per minute, which is enough for the testing purposes. But while I was testing with the chatbot, I noticed that if I'm not I should enable the billing account from the Google console in order to be able to use the API. So yes, you will have to add some billing information in the Google developer console in order to be able to use the API.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Selena is asking, what's the best way to learn React Native? Do you have other resources for self-learners that you recommend?
Well, there are very good resources in YouTube, for example, free React Native courses. The Coursera certification for React Native is also a very good start for beginners. And of course, you can always follow the official React Native documentation and start building apps because with practice you can learn the better way rather than just following a tutorial.
Thank you, Violina. I have just one question that's really just, can you show me the list of imports for the, I think it's the
Sure.
chat component again?
Okay.
The chatbot, yes. Sorry, it's just that, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I will upload this code to a GitHub repo, and I can share it with all of you so that you can try breaking the chatbot app.
Thank you. It was an amazing session, and the troubleshooting really helped us understand it better. It was great. I think it's it made it better.
Yeah, I hope that you liked the session, and if you want more React Native related content, just ping Mariya, Anna, or me, and we can try to organize this.
Thanks so much, Violina, for the amazing session. You went above and beyond, and this troubleshooting was real. Thank you so much, everyone. I don't think we have more. We have one more question, and that was on my end. I never see a touchable opacity. Is that something just for React?
Yes, this is React Native, actually, a specific element for. Let me just share again my screen, and I can show you from the official documentation what actually touchable opacity looks like. Do you see my screen? Yes, okay. So here in the React Native documentation, under components, you can see all available components and experiment with them. And touchable opacity is the element which can be used when you want to have a button on the screen, or just a tap gesture is included. And you can see here, if I press, it detects that it has been tapped on the screen. Another component which can be used is pressable. It works the same way as touchable opacity. And here actually you can have different properties, like if long press is needed, what should happen if the element is not pressed anymore. And the other standard component which you can use is button. But the button has some limitation because it takes the native buttons from iOS and Android, and cannot be applied styles for this element. And for example, if you want the button to look the same way on iOS and Android, it's better option to use touchable opacity or pressable.
Thank you so much, Violina. Amazing session. We do have a last question, and that is the session will be available? Yes, the session will be available in the next week or so. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Do you have any more questions? If not, please do connect with Violina on social media and support Frontend Queens.